What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a bit. It's been a while. Been stupid busy between... I was up in Sturgeon Bay end of April, first week of May for about 8 days. Got the absolute ish kicked out of me. Had 3 good days out of 8. The weather's been absolutely miserable up there. North wind, north wind, north wind, west wind, northwest, northwest, north wind. The fishing was terrible for me. I had a good day on Monday. I had a pretty decent day on Tuesday throwing a spinnerbait. And then I had a good day on Friday throwing a jerkbait. Other than that, it was absolutely brutal. Then I came home and the wife and I went to Miami, Key West, Biscayne Bay National Park, Everglades National Park, just to do a little R&R and get away from shop and everything. And I'd never been down to Key West in that area. It was an absolute blast. Had a great time for 5 days or so. Came home and then I got the call from my buddy who's been up in Sturgeon Bay for like 45 days. He does it every year. He's been doing it for decades. So he gave us a call and said they're on. Come up right now. So my buddy and I booked it up there Thursday. And we fished Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Came home Tuesday evening and we absolutely crushed them as they were moving onto beds, pre-staging, pretty much all phases. And I'm gonna go over the 3 combos that I used. It's pretty much the only stuff we needed to use. My buddy used a drop shot and a Ned rig, like a pink and green Ned rig, just so you could see it and it kind of blended in. I only really used the two combos, and then the third was more of like a pre-spawn that we found farther north. So if you haven't been to Sturgeon Bay, there is Green Bay, and then there's like a little bays that go all the way up the peninsula. They usually start moving or getting shallow on beds south, and then they move north as the months go on. The water gets colder and colder the more north you go. And with the north winds, it kept blowing in that cold water all month for 30 something days. It just kept blowing that cold water into the south. So you had to kind of dodge and figure that out. But we're going to start off with what I use for pre-spawning stuff. And it was the jerkbait setup. Alewives, they were chasing alewives in the backs of some of the bays on both sides of the peninsula, on the Lake Michigan side and on the bay side. So I was throwing the Dobbins Champion 704 CB. This is my go-to jerkbait rod, paired with a Daiwa Steez CTSV TW. I absolutely freaking love this size of reel for jerkbaiting. Jerkbaiting can be pretty tedious and just annoying on your hand or your arm. So having this really small size, and my hands are pretty small anyway, made the fatigue far less than using a bigger reel. You can bomb this thing in the wind, no backlashing, just getting that perfect snap on the jerkbait and on the rod and line. I absolutely love this. I might actually snag either another one of these or the BFS version, which is the SS Air, since I have one. It's the same frame and everything. I might use it on my other jerkbait reel just because I love this frame. For non-high dollar stuff, the Tatula SV70 is an amazing jerkbait reel as well. It's the same size, just gonna be a little bit heavier and maybe a little less refined, but I also can do upgrades to those. So if you have them, you can send it in. And then of course I am throwing my key lime. This is the 110 +1 Junior. As you can see, I'm missing a hook here. It's gotten completely destroyed, but it is in still fantastic shape. This color up there, this color down here for spots and largies. This color has been awesome up north on the St. Lawrence River up in Minnesota. This is a phenomenal color. This is the key lime rendition of the Gary Dobbins signature color that he had years ago. That was my pre-spawn stuff. We hit some of the main lake, rock boulders, points, just some of that transition stuff, and we caught a bunch on Monday, hitting some pre-spawn stuff before we went and searched a little shallower. Awesome combo, but that reel, having it so small, made it less taxing on my arms throwing a jerkbait all day. And then when we started dropping on their heads, the two combos that I used, one's a little not traditional, I guess. This one's been my typical one for a long time. This is the Sierra 740 Ultra Finesse. Use this a ton for dragging neds, dragging little tubes, dropping on them. It's paired with the Daiwa Elphus Air TW 8-6-1 carbon handle. But two combos I have because I wanted one natural and I wanted one so I could see it. This is the Omega Custom Tackle Slayer Ned Head. I think it's one of the nicer Neds. It's got a very strong, durable hook with the football jig style head with the eyes on it. The eyes really in the clear water allows you to see that bait when you are hopping it towards you. It kind of gives you a contrast against the bait and against the rock, so you can kind of pinpoint where that bait was. This one's paired with more of a natural color goby, since there are a ton of gobies up in that area. And it's the X-Zone Stealth Invader. Such a great Ned drop shot bait. Again, so many gobies. I've got video posted, or I'll post it again, of gobies in beds, gobies around all the rocks and shells and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted something natural. This is the like green pumpkin, lighter brown on the bottom. Matches what was on the bottom. And then I'm throwing this one on, I'm pretty sure this is 8-pound Tatsu. It's either 8-pound Tatsu or 8-pound Invisex. Just lighter line since that water's so crystal clear, but honestly it didn't really matter. Awesome combo here. This is more of the natural selection combo. And then on the other one, I went super bright, something for me to see when you're pitching on beds or pitching around big boulders and stuff in deep water. This is the Sierra 700. This is actually the Proto, so it's a 701, but he went with the 700. Again, with the Omega Custom Tackle Slayer Net Head, both in 1/4 ounce. I wanted something super heavy, or heavier than like an 1/8 or 1/16. I wanted it to drop quick. They have screw locks on them. This one's been used and abused. As you can tell, the paint and everything is completely worn off. Didn't have to go through a ton of Neds. Again, super sharp, strong hook on it. This is the Yamatanuki heavy bait. I love the bait. It's got that nice little slender profile to it, goby style or crawfish style. Again, with all the Yamamoto stuff, they overpack them with salt, which honestly is really not needed on some of these baits. It comes apart super easy, as you can tell. It breaks apart like Cinco's and everything else that they make that has 900% salt injected in them. But the other nice thing about it, it's a heavy bait. So instead of your bait spiraling down like a tube, this thing just went, when you pitched it in, straight down to the bottom, straight down to the bottom. So you can make that instant reaction bite, or you can pitch it in and know exactly where that bait's gonna go and hit that target when you need it to. So if I was pitching on a boulder 15, 20, 30 feet away, I knew when that pitch went in, it went straight down to where I wanted that bait to go. Nice baits, just fall apart. That's why I went through a couple bags of them. Not a big deal. If you're catching 27, 28 pounds a day, I don't really care how many baits I lose or how many baits get tore up. So it was a fantastic bait as a follow-up. So if they didn't eat this, I would pitch that natural bait in. And as many beds and shallow stuff as I've seen over the years, I could tell that they didn't want this. They wanted that natural bait. And as soon as that natural bait went in, they would smoke it. So I've got it paired with the Daiwa Pixie. This is Silver Pixie. So this isn't my traditional drop bait combo, just because this is a slower gear ratio, where this is like a 5-1-1 or 5-7-1-1, whereas that's an 8-6, so that one's much quicker. But I had this one rigged up, so I just used it, and it didn't really matter, because once you get the hook in them, you're just fighting them on drag, or you're fighting them on thumb barring them. So It wasn't too bad. Such a phenomenal combo. And this reel is probably 20 years old or so, and it's still in mint. Great condition. Such an amazing BFS finesse reel. And then that is really about it. That is pretty much the combos I used for 4 days. Just dragging, dropping, and jerking. There you go, guys. Appreciate you for watching. Matt might have some more videos on some of the stuff we used early in the year on those smallmouth, but we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.